Hello and welcome. In this video I want to talk about big data uploads. Data upload is one of the most basic things you can do with the Kaa platform. But there are a few important points you need to be aware of. To demonstrate, I will upload a large amount of data and show you along the way how to avoid common mistakes. So let's get started. To start, let's look at the data I already have. This is a big JSON array that describes the state of an industrial boiler over the course of the year. Each object in the array consists of a timestamp and several nested objects. The amount of data I have is not too much, but definitely enough to break things. Now the data I just showed you, I want to upload to an empty endpoint that you can see on the right. And on the left I have a Postman open to send the HTTP request. Let's take a look at the request I am about to execute. It consists of several parts that you need to fill in. The first one is the domain. The domain of the request must match the domain of your Kaa account. Next is the application version. You can get it from your endpoint. And the endpoint token I already have memorized. If you forgot your endpoint token, you can revoke it and create a new one. The URL is complete, so let's open the payload body of the request. I already have some test data that I left from another machine, but that's not enough, so I will just paste an entire database over it and execute the request. Of course, that won't work. The server doesn't have enough time to process such a request because the payload we are sending is too large. So let's fix it right now. To fix this problem, we need to upload the data in chunks. I have a small Python script prepared that reads data from my JSON and sends 10 objects at a time, which is an adequate amount. Of course, the language doesn't matter. You could do this in JavaScript or any other language you prefer, but I chose Python. The code and the database you can get on GitHub. I will leave all resources in the description, so make sure to check them out. One more note, if you want to run this code, you need to set it up the same way we did it with the URL, so just copy the information from your endpoint. Alright, let's upload a few objects. The code seems to be running fine so far. Let's check how our endpoint is doing. Going back to the Kaa platform, you can see that we haven't actually uploaded anything yet. If we check the data logs, we can see that the request did arrive, but our data still doesn't show on the graphs. However, the timestamp is there, but again, no data. Let's look at the object to see why. The timestamp was saved because it's not nested into another object, unlike all the other parameters. We definitely don't want to go through the entire database and make every parameter at the top level in the object hierarchy. But of course, we can configure this in Kaa. Let's open Device Management, Applications. I have two applications here, one from my previous lessons and the second is the one we need. So in the settings, we click on Base Configurations. Changes that we make to base configurations will apply to our entire application. Then we click on APTS. In APTS, we can specify how to extract the data we want. The auto extract option is already checked. This automatically extracts everything from the first level of the object, which is why our timestamp value was captured. Next, we have timestamp extraction. Here we can specify which timestamp to use, the one from the Kaa platform or the timestamp from the data we upload. We'll come back to this a bit later. The more important option is time series mapping. This is where we specify how to extract our data from the object. And that's what we are going to do right now. So I have my JSON open on the right, and I will specify just the few inputs object. I won't be extracting everything else, but just enough to show you how it works. Okay, so the application was configured. Now let's upload our data again. The code is running alright, and we can see that the data which I specified in my application settings can now be viewed and stored in Kaa. But this is still not good enough. You can see that the original data was gathered a year ago, but when I uploaded it to Kaa, it treated all these data changes as if they happened just right now. Not ideal, of course. To fix this, we need to go back to Applications, again base configuration and APTS, and from there we can specify our own timestamp. The name should match with how we called our timestamp from our JSON array. The timestamp must match the type selected in the dropdown, very important. And finally, we can specify if we want Kaa to autofill timestamp in case if we didn't provide it. We definitely don't need this for our data upload, so skip it and save the changes. Okay, so now my app is fixed. The data was uploaded, but I can't see it immediately. And that's because it was uploaded quote-unquote a year ago. So I will specify to view the data over several years ago. And now you can see that the data was uploaded with the correct timestamp from a year ago. Great. So we've successfully fixed the data upload, but there is one more thing I want to show you. Data types. Data types are something you need to be aware of. Let me show you. Our temperature field is set to be a float. If I try to upload it as a string, it obviously won't work. In cases like this, you need to make sure your data matches the expected type, otherwise you will lose some of it. To fix this, go to the device page and open the menu in the top right corner. From there, you can delete the specific time series to re-upload them with the data type you prefer, or delete everything and start over. And that's all I wanted to show you about big data uploads. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to check the description for useful links, leave any questions in the comments, and thank you for watching.